Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast is, you guessed it, a direct sequel to the 1986 arcade hit in which you take control of a Ferrari Testarossa as you traverse through different locations to reach the end before the time runs out. The game would receive a true sequel in the form of Outrun 2, but what I'm focusing is the re-release Outrun 2006. The real change that makes the game much better is the mechanic of drifting. Gone is the driving where you turn the wheel to make the corner as best as you could, as now you are tasked with throwing the car all around each corners. It may sound complicated, but it's really not, as you will be getting the hang of it the more you play, and honestly, the drifting is the biggest appeal that intrigues me, as it's easy to perform with the help of the simple controls. Tap the brake, turn the wheel, and then letting go the accelerator according to the situation is simply satisfying. You're gonna have to time each corner perfectly as you cruise around them to get the best trajectory to get out of the dangerous situation. The timing of entering the drift, finding the gap to slow down while turning the wheel as much as you can is just so satisfying. The drifting is the reason I got hooked instantly to this game. I just love the fact that I can initiate a drift at any moment that I want with a push of a few buttons, and off I go, doing stuff to impress myself and the girl next to me, immersing myself within this exhilarating experience of a lifetime. I simply could not describe how happy I was doing all kinds of drifting everywhere I go in the game. Despite performing the same style of drifting for more than 60 times, it never gets old. The drifting is perfectly coded by Sumo Digital, leaving a long-lasting taste in my tongue that never smells that bad even after close to 2 decades. Drifting is addicting, and it was a ticket from the unfair reality. Speaking of reality, thanks to the excellent rosters of Ferrari being added, I can lift up my wet dream of owning at least one of the Ferrari dream car that I always wanted to drive. The real world will never allow me to go near any of those exotic machines, and Outrun 2006 provides the best escape for this dilemma. From your iconic Testarossa that defines a generation, to the classic Dino 246 GTS that always puts a smile on my face, to the modern days of Ferrari supercar just like the GTO. It's your choice to be who you want, and no one is gonna judge you. Something the real world will keep you away from. There are tons of prancing horses for you to pick regardless if you play coast to coast or simply the arcade mode. Those horses were able to inject different types of emotions upon riding them for the 76th time. The raw of their enthusiasm along with the speed being exerted by each of the beasts really won't let you regret your initial selection. Not to mention, Ferrari is a name that needs no explanation. The appearance of its majestic logo already cemented itself a name that cannot be taken away no matter how hard you try. Ferrari is literally that well known, even in motorsport. As what a certain driver would say, everyone is a Ferrari fan, even if they say they are not. It's a loyalty that never fades away, enduring the test of time. Reality is painful. Never mind, let me take one of the Ferrari and take it to the line. I don't need any race strategies to tell me what to do. I don't need slow button on. I don't need plan ABCD WTF. I make up the rules and I can prove that it works well. What makes Outrun so unique is the location that you went through. You start off in a coastline as you work your way through each chicane and shortcut around the world of Ferrari land. You will be visiting different locations such as desert, forest, mountain, etc. But it's not easy as it sounds. Upon leaving the first stage, you will be presented with two options that leads to two different routes down the road of this epic route saga. Left is easy and right is hard. As the name suggests, different difficulty will grant you with different rewards, and it shows here. If you go left, you will meet some predictable areas. But go right and you will see some of the extraordinary landscapes. Each of those areas will offer different challenges, and like I said earlier, if you can master the drifting, then the world of Outrun is here for your taking. Blue skies, splashing waves, and the breeze of relaxation. This is my happy place, a place that I earned the right to stay within. You will be so immersed within the game that you wouldn't want to return back to the real world, because I sure as hell wouldn't. But the reality still finds its way to sneak into the game. Whenever I play the game to escape from everything, I often question myself some elements within the game, as if the game is trying to tell me something, especially in some of the stages. Milky Way, a stage that takes place in a night sky full of shooting stars with a space shuttle in the background, a symbolism of reaching the unknown, reaching the highest point for the wildest dream. Legends, where it takes place in an area filled with ancient monuments, as if this was a place where civilization exists, or maybe the place where everything used to be good. But now, it's just a distant memories, a mystery that will never be resolved. Metropolis, the final area in the hardest route of the game, the last one you will be encountering, which takes place in the city. We start off in a city, trying to get away from the every problems. We travel all the way across different locations full of nature to find our true selves, only to end in a city, as if the game is telling us we can run as long as we could, but eventually the gas will be empty and the problem waits us at the line. Let's not forget about the fact that we travel so fast down the road for each stages, spend around a minute or so for each stages before finding our way to the next one. There's only so much stuff that we can catch in a glimpse. We cannot afford to slow down because the problem is rapidly catching us, and we have no choice but to keep moving. Along the way, we cannot afford any mishap, or we will run out of time much quicker. It's even more apparent when you look at the ending for each route. None of them ends on a happy note. The reality is really mean. So, I came to the conclusion that no matter how hard we try, how fast we go, we cannot stop the reality from catching up to us. Outrun 2006, for what it's worth, is a good game. Although it's able to offer different features to keep us calm, it still brings up the most concerning issue that we don't want to face. The painful reality is there, lurking in every possible angles away from our point of view. We have the fastest Ferrari, we have the greatest result, we have the most gorgeous girl next to us. But by the time we get back to the line, it doesn't matter. It's already too late. The entity of reality is already one step ahead, waiting to greet us. The reality will always be here, reminding us about our miserable life, haunting us for eternity. The reality always outruns us.